How are you managing the cost of living right now?
I am a working class citizen, born and bred here in the UK. My wife is a working class citizen too. We have a mortgage, a family car, three kids that are under six. I am 32 and my wife is 31. We both work full time too. Our current expenditure works out to around 2,100 a month. That includes still paying off the house and car finance. Our car finance was for 4 years and is about to end in about 2 to 3 months. Without saying too much about our combined earnings, we are able to save many hundreds a month, which will be used for investment purposes and emergencies. And the reasons are the following. One, we live below our means. We set a budget of how much roughly we spend on the essentials like food, gas, electric, clothing, and on the side, we have extra money in case of emergencies or the need to overspend without having to go into our savings. I have a spreadsheet of our monthly spendings on my side, and my wife has hers, and I try to stick to it more or less as best as possible. For example, we're on a pay-as-you-go gas and electric meters. We make it last as long as possible by only using the heating when it is really cold, usually in the winter for about 2 hours in the evening before bed. I make sure the kids are well dressed and naturally they are very active throughout the day. If it's really cold, then it gets used in the day for a bit too, as sometimes that can't be helped. Two, we don't overindulge in luxuries. Every now and then we go to restaurants, zoos, road trips, etc. But we usually try to have money ready to celebrate the kids' birthdays and Christmas. For us adults, we keep our celebrations to a minimum. Three, this is a big one. We don't rent. We bought a house through a mortgage before the COVID crisis hit. We did get lucky with saving enough money, a 5% deposit, for a mortgage application on our chosen three-bedroom house, which cost less than 100,000. Our monthly mortgage repayments cost less than half the average rent in Manchester, rent averaging over £1,000 a month, which I think is an absolute robbery, even if you're in the top tier of earners. Four, whilst we do spoil our kids with treats, we don't overspend on the more luxurious items like iPads, smartphones, etc., especially since they are still little. They don't need those products just yet. Five, we usually avoid popular branded clothing and food items, though there are exceptions. We mainly just go for less known branded clothing and in some cases pre-owned. If you're in good shape, are hygienic and neat, you can still look good in basic fashion, like a pair of jeans, a white t-shirt or shirt, a jacket if it's cold, and a pair of boots. Just make sure they're not baggy or loose on you, and you will look good. For women, as long as you're in reasonable shape, like you're barely not going beyond your breast, and you're not flat as a pancake, in which case you better eat more and lift weights or do calisthenics. You will look like a millionaire in a less than £20 Shein long dress, wearing £5 jewellery for illusion of wealth. No one will know the difference or care to ask. With food, we bulk buy on some items like rice and pasta. I'll admit though, with the kids being so young, they are extremely picky, so quite a bit of food goes to waste as we try to get them to eat. Six, we don't let anyone look after our kids. The way we work out, us both working full time each week with one day off together, is on the days my wife is working, I look after the children, and the days I'm working, my wife does the same. That way, we always got ourselves taking care of our little ones without taking them to this or that person. Seven, me and the wife are both in agreement with our financial goals. When my last daughter finally attends school, I'll have more time every week. My goal before I'm 40 is to learn certain trades like plumbing, electricity, mechanics, etc. by paying one-off fees for short courses that can be done in a matter of days. And when I learn those skills, I'll be volunteering to build my portfolio and experience before seeking employment. At the same time, we are saving to get a second mortgage and to pay off this house by the time we get into our early 40s. 8. We also don't have any credit cards, at least not any longer, or any debt besides the car that is almost paid off and the mortgage. The mortgage is on a fixed rate, not a variable one. Our car is not a fancy one, neither is it old, but it is one that will last us a long time. And that's the most important thing, longevity. 9. The only downfall to this way of life is me and the wife don't get to spend as much time together as we want. If we go on dates, instead of it being just me and her, it is me, her, and the kids. But we are hopeful for the future because we know our current circumstance is going to be temporary. We will not always live like this. I understand not everyone will have the same opportunity as us, but for others, if it's possible to take on board some of the tips I've given through our current life experience as we battle inflation together, then give it a try. Work out a plan of action with your significant other and then bring it to life. Thanks for listening. God bless.